So I'm just going to log in here to the our demo system, and this will just take us into the inbox. We've imaginatively called our person here Bugs Bunny, and he has a company called Acme Limited. So this is the screen that you'd see once you've received mail at PrivateBox. So the way you receive mail is obviously you have to use your PrivateBox address, right? So there's a couple of ways you can get to this address. You'd actually see it if you had no mail here. You'd actually see it on the first screen. It would actually come up with your address. Now, after you sign up, there is a verification process that we need to just make sure you are who you are, and your address is actually hidden until that's completed. So you'll find if you've uploaded all your docs during the sign up, that will actually happen really fast. If you didn't, then we'll probably follow you up and just get all that stuff sorted. It's essentially we just need to see your face and see an ID, and that's normally enough to get you verified. So once you have your address, we normally issue it like this. So this for this demo, this is our 6 Johnsonville Road address. That's actually where our main office is in Wellington, and this demo account has the address 1234, and that's our box number 1234, or suite number, or apartment number. We can actually load in any kind of prefix here. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the number. So you'll either give this address to anybody who wants to send you stuff, or use it online for your businesses, and then when the mail arrives, you'll obviously get an email, and the mail will appear inside your inbox. So just to have a bit of a quick overview of this, so you will have a list of who the mail's to. You'll also have it's actually possible to have multiple mailboxes. So sometimes people have a personal mailbox and a business mailbox, just to separate those things out. And then you have your different folders, which will have different views of the mail. And obviously, when you select stuff, you can send it. Parcel collect, that is when you get it sent to a Countdown or a Post Shop. And this is updated daily from the actual database from New Zealand Post. So this is pretty accurate. These are all the locations in New Zealand. So this is kind of when you don't actually have somewhere to forward your mail to. This is when you can actually just get it sent to the closest destination. They'll be sent via courier, tracked, and you will get notified when it gets handed over and ready for pickup. You've got scanning. Obviously, that's when we'll open and scan it. You'll get a digital copy, similar to this one here from BNZ. So this is just a test letter that's loading, and what you'll see in a minute when I go through the rules section, you can automate a lot of this stuff. Scan and destroy is very similar to scan, except once it's scanned, it will just be automatically queued for destruction. That's just really handy for mail that you just need a digital copy, like bank statements or stuff that just having a digital copy is enough. Like we do keep all scanned mail forever, unless you actually explicitly go in here and remove it. So this is just some previous test mail that we've had on this account, but until you actually go in here and explicitly remove it or close your account, we do hold all the digital copies, and that's a free service. We don't charge extra for that. We just think it makes sense in this day and age that you can just keep digital copies of stuff wherever if you want to. And then obviously we've got the destroy function here. Now the destroy function is we have a secure destruction bin on site, and everything gets shredded, cut up into tiny little pieces. I've seen the machine; it's great, and then that actually gets recycled as well. So it's fully recyclable and very secure. We use a company called Iron Mountain for that service. So the next view is going into the mailbox view. Now I'm just using the shortcut link off here. which is just this little edit link. So, if you're in a different mailbox, you can just click on editing that mailbox. And then you have the different tabs: mailbox, folders, people, company, rules. Now, you can view mailbox, folders, companies, and people, because those are kind of the important stuff from this menu on the right as well. We also have the billing and settings as well, which we will spend a little bit of time talking about, but we'll spend most of our time on the rules section. So Mailbox is just a summary about what you have with PrivateBox, and any folders you have. You can create a new mailbox from here, which will be another unique number at any address in New Zealand. And just one note here, actually, you can use, even though only one address is displayed here, you can actually use any of PrivateBox's addresses for the same fee. You just have to make sure you include your unique number on the address, and then it will get sorted correctly to your account. And then there's a list of folders, and there's another folder view here. You can add and delete folders here. Folders, even though they look kind of innocuous here, it is an important concept for PrivateBox, because when your mail lands inside a folder, when you choose where it's filed, that's when we decide what actions to take against that mail in terms of automating things. So yeah, it's just a collection, a way to collect your mail in different ways, but it's also it's the way that we decide what automatic rules to apply. So they'll become obvious once we get to the rule screen. People, that's obviously a list of all the people on your account. I just want to just say, even though there's like a million fields on this screen, you actually just need a first and last name for a person in a default mailbox. The reason we have all this other stuff is because we do need to verify the identity of the account holder and maybe other trustees or directors or shareholders of a company. And when we do ask for that information, we'll just ask you to come back and fill this in. So it's really optional, all these other things. If it becomes required, we will come back and ask you about it. So let's just add someone else. Who's Bugs Bunny's friend? Let's say Donald Duck. And we'll just add that person. And so we've got another person here, Donald Duck. Now, why it's important to let us know who the extra names are on an account, because if your magic number is missing, your mailbox number, if this is missing for whatever reason, if the sender has left it off, it's quite often for a New Zealand Post redirection to miss that off as well. That if we have the person's name, we have a good chance of actually making sure that the mail can be sorted correctly. If mail comes in and Donald Duck isn't registered on our system, we'll actually just return that mail to sender. So it is important to let us know all the people that would be using your mailbox. The company view is a similar thing for businesses, adding business names here. If you had more than one, you'll be able to remove them as well. You can also add the registered office service here, which is a legal address for your business in New Zealand. You'll only have this view if you actually have a business account or above with PrivateBox. This demo account does, but if you were just on a personal account, it would be only the people screen. And then we just go into the rules. So for each person, you can decide which folder the mail goes to. So if mail arrived for Donald Duck, you could actually go and put him into his own folder, right? A little bit clunky in that you have to go back to folders to say, add a new folder here, Donald's mail. And then we can go and change Donald's any mail for Donald Duck will get filed to Donald's Mail folder. So by default, we don't have any automatic rules set up on your account. You essentially, when we receive mail, you'll get an email notification saying you've got mail, and then that's it, right? So then it's up to you to either log into the system to manually send the mail, or call or email us to place an order. But the way to really extract the maximum value out of PrivateBox is to automate things. So this is where we can get into two concepts about folder rules and mail forwarding rules. So folder rules, you can say when mail is filed under a folder or is scanned for somebody, you can do different things. So when mail is filed under Donald's mail, we want to scan it. So we add that rule. So that means all the mail will be scanned for any mail that gets filed into that folder automatically. And then we can have another rule to say when mail is scanned for Donald's mail, we are going to you can auto destroy the letters because it's been scanned, or you can email it. And let's just email it to myself in case anything comes in. And so this is pretty cool. So this means that any mail for Donald that's going to come in will be automatically scanned and emailed to myself. Now, one thing that we did when COVID-19 came out, happened to the world, is we actually enabled something called free automated scanning. So we just put that on just for everybody, just because the mail system became a little bit unreliable. There was a lot of backlogs, and we just thought it would be a good way for people to actually be able to view their mail and then work out what's important or not. So every account, regardless of its personal, business, premium, virtual office, comes with 5 free scans. And there is a page limit. It's quite high. I can't remember if it's 20 or 50 pages, just to make sure that you don't kind of send us a 500-page document and then we kind of scan that for free. That would take us hours. So that's when you've got the different rules, and then that's the main rules here are around scanning and destruction and emailing. Now you've got the actual forwarding rules where you can say that every 2 weeks, every 14 days, all Donald's mail will be forwarded automatically using courier to such and such address. And that just means any mail in that folder will do that, right? And that's good in situations where you might have, for business, maybe you're actually getting everything automatically scanned, but then you want to actually archive the hard copy somewhere. So maybe once a month you actually forward that to your accountant for storage or something like that. So that's the rule screen. We spend a lot of time trying to make this easy, but it's funny. It's one of those things that everybody has different requirements. So if you ever have feedback about how we could improve the screen, do feel free to let us know. And that kind of concludes the mailbox area. That's where you'll spend most of your time. There's a couple of other things that I just wanted to point out. Obviously, we've got the billing and subscription stuff. So this is where you manage your credit cards. You've got transaction history, auto top up. So if once you have a credit card on our system, you can decide how much it tops by depending on how much money's left in your account. So you can set that to anything you want. Some people prefer having it a bit higher, so that means we bug you less and there's less transactions on your credit card. Some people prefer it lower, so they're really only just spending what they use. The service is prepaid, so so you always do require to have a little bit of credit in the account to process mail. In some cases, we will process things if the credit card's already loaded, with the thinking that we will be able to just debit the card as soon as that transaction goes through. Now you can view your transaction history and your GST invoices here. You can view your subscription here. There isn't one for this. This is a demo account. You can't actually view anything here. And this is how you can change between personal and business as well. And then obviously you've got the cancel account button here if you want to close the account. And that just closes it in a very orderly way, and is probably the best way to let it close. One feature we're thinking about bringing out is just putting that in the future, so you can actually choose, say, hey, close my account in 6 months time or something, so you can just set and forget it as well. That's on our to-do list. And then the only other place that I'd like to just draw your attention to is the settings page. This is where you can just change the account contact details, security questions, password, that sort of thing. You can control your notifications here. This is whether or not you receive email notifications. Email shortcuts is a very cool and unknown feature, which means that if you get mail scanned, it can put a shortcut into your mail, into the email, that will let you send or destroy it directly from your email without logging in. So it's just a little bit of a time-saving technique. It depends on your workflow, right? What works for you. If you are getting stuff scanned to email, I do recommend you turning it on because it's very cool. I use it every day. But it's one of those things you kind of have to try out to see if it fits with your workflow. Under the integration tab, we're only integrating with Evernote at the moment out of the box. Messages is kind of the system messages that we generate. They're not normally important enough for emailing you, but it's kind of like a log of everything that happens on your account. And then account access. This is essentially just to allow PrivateBox to access your account. So you can imagine if you phone us and say, hey, how do I do this? It would be really great for us to be able to log into your account and actually see the same things that you can see. So without this, we can't view anything in your account. So this is the way that you turn that on. From our side, we can see some billing information. We can see address details and things like that, and which people are on the account, but we can't actually see the contents of your mail. We know what mail you hold, but I think probably the main thing we can't see is all the scans and your forwarding rules and things like that. And that's the way that you turn that on there. I think that's just about everything.